What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So I'm super happy to announce that I have a major shop upgrade. We got some quick jacks. I'm really stoked to have these. It's definitely a game changer. Super easy to use these things, and not only that, but they are way safer than jack stands in my opinion. So as you can see, there they are. They're locked in place right now. There's two locking points on these ones. There's this front locking point, and then there's the back locking point back there. I do kind of wish they had another locking point in here. It really wouldn't have been that hard for them to just like weld another piece of metal in here, or even like several, to be honest. I don't think you're supposed to leave them without them resting against the locking points, so yeah, it's kind of too bad that they don't. The other thing that I kind of messed up on, because I didn't realize it, so these things, obviously they pivot, right? So like this whole thing is going, as I raise it, it's gonna keep pivoting that direction until it's fully raised up. And so you need enough space in the back, or whichever way you're gonna have it pivot. Well, my plan was to have them flipped around so they would pivot forward instead of backwards, because I don't have much space back there in this tiny shop. Unfortunately, the front of the car is so much lighter than the rear right now with everything stripped out that it actually started to tip the quick jacks off the front of the like whole frame. So it was like tilting it off that back piece, if you can kind of envision that happening. And so I immediately just like lowered it, tried to figure out like what was happening, and realized that it was just like a weight issue. So unfortunately, I don't have enough space in the garage with the garage door shut to raise them all the way up right now. But I think what I'm going to do to solve that issue, because I do want to be able to raise them all the way up, because they go up pretty high. It's kind of sweet, actually. I'll open up the garage so you can see how tall they get. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is get some casters for this thing, lower it down onto the casters, and just kind of like move the chassis into a better spot so that we have more room so we can raise it all the way up. Really excited to share that with you guys. I'm pretty stoked to have these in here and not always have to mess with jack stands. It's definitely nice to have this and then just have some peace of mind, because this way I can get some extra height underneath the car without being unsafe, because obviously like I upgraded the jack stands and those are taller jack stands. These things, like, you don't want to max them out, obviously, so just better to have something like this that is much safer. Let me just show you guys how tall we can make this thing. So it comes with this pretty sweet controller, so just hit the button and she just starts raising up. So you can hear it hit that locking point, and then you're supposed to just keep pressing down a little bit to take the pressure off the hydraulic system. And now it's kind of locked down against this little tab there, so it can't move. So pretty cool. And yeah, this is our height right now. As you can see, it's like a good 2 feet. It can actually go a little taller than that too. The only problem is that I can't do it right now because so these blocks are solid. That's what you're supposed to use. That they come with these. But I had to use 2 in the back because I'm lifting it up off of that point that's a little bit higher up, and then this other part of the frame right here, which sits a little lower on the car. So I'm using 1 here and 2 back there to even it out. But they do make blocks that go on the pinch welds here, and they just have like a slit in the center of them for these to rest inside of, so you don't ruin your pinch welds. And so I think I just need to order some of those, because then you can stack a couple blocks and have it be like level all the way across, and then we'll have even more height. Look at how rough these pinch welds are looking, by the way. Not great. This part's like bent way in. Oh, down here, yeah. That part got bent super far in, so I have some work to do with those pinch welds for sure, but that's gonna have to be for another day. Anyways, I just wanted to share that shop upgrade with you guys. Pretty excited about it, and I think it's really going to change the game quite a bit in here. But anyway, for this video, we're gonna be working on the engine bay again. Now that we have it all gutted out, I can start prepping this bad boy for paint. It needs to be cleaned up desperately. It's pretty damn filthy in here still, so we'll get this thing pressure washed, we'll get it super clean, and then I will start scuffing it. I got a couple different things to scuff it up. Gonna use the 3M pads, maybe some sandpaper in spots if it doesn't seem like it's doing enough. And we'll get this bay looking a lot nicer because she is super crusty after about 22 years of being on the road. All right, so now that we have all the major like dirt vacuumed up, I am going to just spray some degreaser on here and just kind of let it sit. Try to avoid spraying it inside the car through these holes. All right, so I'm just gonna start with simple scrub brush. All right, so I got it all scrubbed up with the degreaser, and check this out. Little kiddie pool underneath. I busted the little Craftsman out, so we're gonna pressure wash all of that dirt and grime and degreaser off now, and hopefully it will look a lot better than it does. And hopefully this little thing catches a bunch of our water. This is actually a little, it's a dog pool. We got it for the dogs for when it's really hot out, and they love that thing. So yeah, I'm gonna use it to try to catch as much of this water as I can. It's not like a huge deal if water gets all over the floor in here. It's not like it's gonna hurt anything, but it just kind of smelled like mildew in here after the last time I pressure washed. Yeah, I just kind of like, was kind of stinky for a few days after I did that, and kind of trying to avoid that if I can this time, because it just wasn't that pleasant to work with it smelling like mildew for several days. So hopefully this will help some of that. If not, whatever. It's just got to be done anyway. All right, got it all pressure washed out. It's definitely looking nicer and cleaner. The kiddie pool definitely did its job. Look at how nasty that water is. It's so gross. I did spray inside the fender wells. They're definitely gonna need a little bit more love, but I just figured while I was in here, I may as well just give it a quick once over. So I sprayed degreaser and brushed this too. And that's what we're left with after pressure washing. I'm pretty sure some of the black is actually like paint or whatever they put over the paint that gives it this like kind of rubber barrier. I don't know what that stuff's called, but pretty sure that's what a lot of the black is, and it's not like grease. So that's good to know. Like if you look right here, you can see that it was clearly painted. So I'm gonna grab some towels. I'm gonna start kind of drying this off. Look at how nice the paint is, like where it hasn't been exposed to the elements. I just love this rally blue, man. It's just such a nice color. What's really odd to me, I didn't really like think about before, is that obviously the engine bay is blue, but it doesn't look like it's the same base as what they used on the rest of the car up there. Like it's just so much different. So I don't know, if you guys know if they use the same base for the engine bay, let me know.
I'm definitely going to use the World Rally Blue in the engine bay anyways. I'm just curious to know if they spray like a different kind of base. It would be kind of weird to me if they did that, but maybe they do like some sort of like single stage or something to save money. I don't know. But let me get this dried up, get this water dumped out, and kind of get it dried up in here so it doesn't start stinking like mildew again.
It is the next day. Well, it's actually several days later, but now that it is all stripped out and cleaned up, I have started to scuff it up just with some green Scotch-Brite. I'm gonna hit it with this first. I've just done a little bit of this area over here. You can tell the difference, obviously, definitely taken off that like little bit of shine that it has. And I have some wire wheels down here with the drill because I've been kind of tackling this area down here. I'm gonna paint it down a little ways underneath where the transmission sits. And you can see the difference between this side right here and that side. Yeah, there's just so much nasty like grease and stuff collected in here that I would like to get off. And because some of this has that like rubberized undercoating on it, it's kind of hard to get it off just by like scrubbing it with like a nylon brush. So I'm hitting it gently with the wire wheel to get a lot of that off. And I'm not sure how far I'll take this back, maybe to like this little seam sealed line right in here. It's coming out pretty decent, as you can see.
There's not enough like exposed metal in here for me to worry about primer. There's like some small dings and stuff that go down to the metal. And I guess I could like fill those with something, but I just don't think it's that important, to be totally honest. I think it'll be fine.
Like this little spot right here, you can see that metal. Down in these areas where I hit it with the wire wheel, we're just down to primer, so I don't need to worry about that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I've also decided to spray this stuff over here just because they don't spray it from the factory, and I just think it would be nicer. Might as well, since we have the fenders off and everything's all gutted. I probably won't paint anything in this region. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that yet. Obviously, like a lot of that undercoating has been scratched off in places, and so it could use some TLC. I think what I'm gonna do is find another rubberized coating that I can spray on here, and so I'll try to grind all of this off, and then we'll do something in black like this. I think it'll look nicer if it's black in here. Obviously the front will get painted as well. Oh, and I still need to remove this latch. I'll do that here in just a minute.
And I did go and pick up some paint yesterday from a local supplier. I'm gonna try a different kind of paint this time on this car than I did on the wagon. The wagon paint that I use is a very economy brand called Limco. I don't have a lot of options where I live. For whatever reason, paint suppliers here, yeah, they just don't supply the brand of paint that I was hoping to get, which is like a PPG product. Can't find it here for some reason. I thought that was one of the more popular automotive paint brands, and so I figured someone would have it, but not anyone that would deal with the general public, at least. So I went with a different kind from a different supplier that I haven't tried yet. And their recommendation for the engine bay was to just use a single stage instead of base clear, just because it's way more affordable. And the single stage is pretty good as far as durability. So that's what we're gonna be doing on this bay.
So the reason that I've chosen Scotch-Brite too, instead of sandpaper, is because I can get into all the little grooves and seams a lot easier with this. Yeah, sandpaper, it's a little bit harder to get weird little nooks and crannies sanded up well, in my experience. It doesn't really need a lot because it's an engine bay, so I don't really need to worry about it getting perfectly smooth everywhere.
right, so finished scuffing up the bay. Got everything cleaned up with some wax and grease remover. And now we're just masking it off. As soon as I get everything masked off, start prepping for the paint, which I'm really excited for. I don't know why I like painting cars so much, but I do. Cannot wait to see how the single stage turns out. Almost forgot to mask these brake lines. I don't know if any of you are experienced auto painters, or just painters for that matter, but for me, I would say my least favorite thing to do this whole process is this stage right here. I hate masking stuff up. It is just always so tedious and takes way longer than you expect it to. And you know, the main reason I want it to look so good is because, also in my experience working on cars, when your car looks really nice, your paint's all shiny, your interior's all clean, everything just looks mint, I find that it's easier to stay motivated on your project. If something looks really sick and you like looking at it and it's pleasing on the eyes, you're just gonna have more motivation to work on it, I think. All right, guys, so we are all masked up. I got the bay all cleaned up with the degreaser and wax remover. And I think I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of compressed air one last time, and then we will mix up our single stage and start spraying this bad boy. This is called Nason is the brand of this stuff. 02C is the color code for the World Rally Blue. And this is the earlier variant because there are a couple different ones of the 02C. So give this a stir. Damn, that looks cool. And this one is an 8:1:2. So 8 parts paint, 1 part the 2K activator, and then 2 parts reducer. So I'm just going off the ounces here. Put the lid back on this bad boy. Give that another stir. Feel pretty good about that. And I'll just throw it right back through the filter again. All right, let's get this cap on. These 3M cups, man, are freaking sweet. That looks pretty good. Throw my mask on. We are good to go. All right. All right, guys, so after 2 coats of the single stage, the engine bay is all finished up. Man, it looks super good now that all the like fumes have kind of died down and I can really see what I'm looking at. It was just like a cloud of like paint vapor in this garage. Normally I keep this door open and I put 2 like box fans on the ground and it vents out like really well actually. But it's kind of cold obviously because it's winter, and so I had to like keep the heat up in the garage with just space heaters, which I was able to do pretty well. It's probably like a little bit colder than ideal, but like not really that bad. And yeah, just because I didn't have ventilation, it's just like staying in the air, and it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, now that I can see it, especially standing back, check this out. Bam! Look at that thing. It looks so good, man. Holy crap. I mean, there are definitely some imperfections. It's not perfect. A lot of like weird little like fish eyes kind of happened. It's probably hard to pick it up on camera, but I mean, overall, like if I like put this over a really nice spot of paint, I mean, damn, that looks good. So yeah, not perfect, but it's an engine bay. You know, I think this is a huge transformation, and definitely one that is warranted for this car. And overall, I'm happy with it. I always wish I could have done a better job whenever I paint something, because it's freaking hard, man. It's one of the hardest skills I've tried to learn, to be honest. Yeah, so it's pretty cool though. It does look really nice, and I think once I get everything buttoned up in there, you're really not going to notice a lot of those imperfections. I got this like massive like sag down here. I think maybe what happened was I didn't wait long enough between coats, and so it being cold and whatnot, the paint, the first coat wasn't quite dry, and so when I put a heavier coat on top of it, it just started to like pull it down. And I think that's kind of what happens when you don't wait long enough, and with it being cold, I think that can happen as well. And yeah, like you can see right here, see how there's all that like weird fish eyeing? It's kind of strange. I'm sure that there must have been like, I don't know, some type of like grease or something still on there, and I just didn't realize it. The other kind of unfortunate thing too is I ran out of tack rags and didn't realize it. I thought I had plenty, and right before I went to paint, I had like my paint all mixed up, because normally that's how I do it. I'll just get it all ready to go, and then I'll come over and I'll hit it with the tack cloth right before I'm about to spray. And I wasn't able to do that this time. But you know, I would rather it happen on the engine bay than more important parts that you're gonna see all the time on the outside of the car. So, but yeah, that's all I got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, hopefully it was just entertaining and maybe inspiring in some way. That'd be cool. Sort of like the purpose of this whole channel, to be honest. Inspiring others to do it themselves, for lack of a better term. And also, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if I can figure out how to do this stuff, anyone can. Any of you guys can. Guarantee it. So, yeah, I just encourage everyone to, you know, get after it, get in the garage, try new things, challenge yourself, and just see what happens. You'll definitely learn stuff along the way. So, but like I said, I really appreciate you guys watching. Please hit that like button. It really will help me out. I am trying to grow this channel, and so yeah, really appreciate you guys watching and giving the thumbs up. Also think about subscribing if you haven't already, because there's a lot more to do and see on this build, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. So I'm gonna keep cranking out episodes as frequently as I can on this build. And, you know, hopefully within the next couple months or so, this build will be getting close to being finished up and we can actually drive the thing. Yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks for joining, and until next time, peace, everybody.